Almost 1 in 5 people worldwide say they have experienced serious harm at work in the past 2 years. To get a regional perspective on this, we have Nancy Hay from Lloyd's Register Foundation. Nancy, how has Asia fared in terms of workplace harm compared to global trends?
So Asia as a continent sees some of the highest rates of self-reported harm at work among the current workforce anywhere in the world. So globally, it's about 19% of the workforce, so almost 1 in 5. But South Asia sees about 27% of people experiencing harm at work in the last 2 years. South Asia at 20%. Both score both high above the global average.
And what steps are currently being taken to address these concerns in the region?
So the big thing that makes a big difference is occupational safety and health training, and particularly recent training, so within the last 2 years. So people who've had safety training at work in the last 2 years are 3 times more likely to report when something goes wrong. And mistakes happen, but if we know about them, they can be tackled and addressed quickly and carefully. And I think there's a risk if you don't do it regularly, you slip into behaviours and actions that are more likely to cause harm. So there's a slippage that happens. What we can see is that there's relatively high rates of safety training in a number of industries that really matter. But where it matters most, as in the context of higher risk for accidents, are construction, manufacturing, utilities, and actually transportation, which is another area where rates of training are about 50% and could be higher.
So given the regional disparities in workplace harm, how can businesses better tailor safety training and, let's say, reporting to fit local needs?
This is a great question. So the first thing you need to do is know that it's happening. So we need to know our people, know our context and the risks in those particular contexts. So they'll be different in construction and manufacturing, and they will in different types of trade or business or transport. But the important bit is from this data is that recent safety training really matters because it increases the reporting rates of harm. And when you know where the harm is, you can then manage it. It also is an indication about the safety culture in the organization and in the sector. So that means people are valued and that risks are being managed because they're known about.
Thank you so much for your time today, Nancy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Once again, that was Nancy Hay, Director of Evidence and Insight at Lloyd's Register Foundation. For more news, visit AsianBusinessReview.com.